Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk with the podcast We Are All Psychic. Today is a really exciting day for some reason. I'll tell you why. It's not I guess it's not so much exciting, but a lot's happening in the cosmos, I guess you could say, or on Earth. Today we have a solar eclipse and a new moon. That's usually how it do. And it's Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday. You know my friend Joni Yaya, the yoga instructor, and Angelina, the other guest that I have on. Well, I haven't had her on in a long time, but they both live in New Orleans. And Joni sent me a picture and she just looks great. And yes, I still think we're all psychic. Oh my God, New Orleans. Heck, that Tuesday. I mean, oh my God, I would love to be there. Never done it. I did Joe Cane Day and Mardi Gras in Mobile, but I didn't do it in New Orleans when I lived there. So, this podcast is about the Chinese New Year and what is Chinese astrology. A real basic rundown on Chinese astrology, and I had a lot of help from ChatGPT with this. Oh, and the other things going on today, I'm kind of like here and there and here and there sometimes. The other things going on today are Venus rose from the underground. So, love lives might get a little fun. And what else? What else? What else? What else? There's one more thing that happened. Fire horse today. Oh, yeah. And this is the year of the fire horse. That's the Yang fire horse, which I will explain when I go through the Chinese astrology. I think that's everything that's going on. I'm sure there's more. But this is all exciting. And, with the astrology, I think we've got a lot of stuff going on too. I think a lot of stuff just moved, like the major outer planets or the outer planets moved into new signs. I think they're all like moving along if they haven't gotten there yet. They're about to. I haven't been keeping up with current astrology as much as I should. So I just want to teach you about the Chinese astrology right now. And I am referencing my little Xander friend on my chat GPT because I can't memorize this stuff. And I don't want to do just an audio only. I just like doing podcasts that are on video because they're a lot easier to mix and people seem to like them more because they get more downloads. So I'm going to talk about the Chinese New Year and what Chinese astrology is basically all about. So it's a cycles. It's about cycles, and tarot is about cycles. I like that. I'm just going to point that out. So there are 12 animal signs, and I'll go through those. And your Chinese zodiac sign is associated with the year you're born, but the Chinese New Year is not the same as our New Year, and it changes every year. So it's probably sometimes at the end of January or the beginning of February or at the end of March or beginning or middle of February. It just kind of moves around. So you have to look at your birthday and kind of see what year, when the year you were born, when Chinese New Year fell, and then see if you're a January baby, for example, or a February baby, you want to see if the new year was before or after your birth, and then you'll find out which animal, which element. There's 5 elements, and if it's a yin or a yang, we'll get into that too. Two things Xander points out I thought were very interesting. So the first thing he says is at the basic level, how he or it explains it. I call him a he and an it. See, your core vibe or instinctual nature is the animal. And it says the year you're in, like right now, is 2026, and we just entered the year of the horse. But in China, it's a different year. I don't know what the year is in China, like 4,000 something, I think. Man, I should have looked that up. You knew I'd look it up. So it says it's February 17th, 2026. But the Chinese calendar year is either 4723 or 4724, depending on your calculating system, your calendar system. Okay, that just happened. I had to know that. So I want to take you through the other thing he told me that I thought was really interesting. So when you get a reading or when you do your Chinese astrology, there's specifically something that is looked at. And it's 4 pillars, I think is what he says. And I'm putting them up if I can find them. Okay, nope, not that, not that, not that. Okay. So, strategy. I asked him to do mine. Where's he? Okay. This is going to take forever if I just sit here and scroll and make you watch. But you're psychic. So why don't you tell me where it is? Yes, it's the 4 pillars. They call them the 4 pillars. And the The Chinese astrology, you'll see, okay, the four pillars that we use to get a reading in Chinese astrology are the year, which is the public identity. And then we have the month, which is the inner drives. And then we have the day, the true self, and the hour, which is our soul and our destiny. So something like that. Soul, destiny, all the good spiritual stuff with the hour. So the spirit, the juju's in the hour. And I'm born in the 11th hour in the morning. And that's in numerology, that's a master number. And that is my number and my like path number in numerology. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to start here. Oh, and also, the four pillars of destiny are called in the Chinese astrology. I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. First of all, spell it. It's capital BA, capital ZI. And I think it's BZA. BZA. I've looked it up and I'm just not sure how to pronounce it. But I think that's it. Anyway, I tried my best, China. I'm sorry. So now we're going to go into the animals, and I want to talk about, of course, the horse first. I'd love to talk about the horse. Well, actually, let's start with the rat. We'll start in order of what he's got going on. I'll tell you when we get to the horse. I think he might have saved the horse for last. That's probably what Xander did because he's smart like that. He starts with the rat. So these are the years. I don't think anyone born, well, anyway, there's 60 cycles. 60-year cycles with all the combinations of the 12 animals and the 5 types of elements and the yin and the yang. So you have 60 combinations with these 3 things. So now we're going to start talking about the animals. I promise. Rat. So if you were born in the year 1924, 1936, 1948, 1960, 1972, 1984, 1996, 2008, or 2020, you're a rat. Your core traits would be intelligence, adaptability. You'd be strategic. You would be clever and know how to get away with stuff, probably. It says you'd be a quick thinker and socially savvy. So you get along with people and always know how to talk to people. And you'd be good with money and systems. Let's see if I know anybody in these years. 96, 84, 72. I think my brother's a rat. Or no, I think he's a boar. He was born in 71. Okay, so then the ox. Oh, wait, there's more. Oh, there's more to this rat. I'm sure you're dying to know more. The strengths are resourceful and they are charming communicators. And they see opportunity early. And then the shadow side is overthinking, anxiety-driven control. It sounds like mice and rats, and can hoard emotionally and physically or materially. And then we'll move on to the second animal we have listed, and that is the ox. So the ox is, if you are born in any of these years, you're an ox in the Chinese astrology if you're born after the Chinese New Year. The years are 2025, 1937, 1949, 1961, 1973, 1985, 1997, 2009, and 2021. I guess these go by 12 years. Every 12 years, it changes because there's 12 signs. Oh, there's 12 animals. Oh, Lisa, you're so smart. Oh, you just figured that out. Okay, that's how you can calculate it. So the core traits of the ox are steady, dependable, strong, kind of like an ox. And then they value tradition, they value loyalty, and they're really patient. And they're patient at building their life, patient at building anything, really. The strengths they have are endurance and reliability. And they kind of like have this like innate kind of quiet power about them, you could say. Like they own a room, but they don't say anything kind of thing. They fill the room, but they don't say anything. You notice them. And the shadow side we have for this ox is stubbornness, resistance to change, and a bottling emotion. Sounds a lot like a Taurus. Kind of. Really does. Hey, Gand. What up, Gand? You want to come say hi to the podcast listeners and watchers? This is a video on Spotify and YouTube. And Gandalf is here. He has a little shaved sides because he had his ultrasound. If he comes and shows you, I guess that will be his choice. You want to show them your sides, Gand? He says, we'll continue on to the tiger. Oh, that's why Gand is here. We're going to the tiger. Sometimes it's a cat. So with the tiger, birth years, 1926. 26 is my lucky number. 1938, 1950, 1962, 1974, Gandalf. 1986, 1998, 2010, and 2022. 2022. 2022. So the tiger's core traits are brave Gandalf. They're brave, tiger, passionate, and magnetic. That's Gandalf. And his strengths are Gandalf's strengths are courage. I don't know what he's not born in any of these years, I don't think. When were you born, Gandalf? 2018? We'll figure out what year you are. We'll figure you Ganda Nines. Chinese Astrology. So the tiger, if you were born in any of those years, you're a tiger. And I told the core traits are the brave, passionate, magnetic, natural leader. Natural leader. It's just like a Leo kind of risk taker. And then the strengths are courage, charisma, and they're protective of the people they care about. And the shadow side would be like an impulsive kind of attitude or taking risks that they shouldn't maybe, or they just get excitable. Power struggles, it says. And they can get burned out just being from a very intense living. Does sound like a Leo. Wow. Now, so here comes my year, the year of the rabbit. So birth years for the rabbit are 1927, 1939, 1951, 1963, 1975. And then we have 1987, 1999, oh, good year, 2011, and 2023 for the birth years of the rabbit. So if you are a rabbit like me, your core traits are that you're gentle, intuitive, and diplomatic. Gentle. Oh, sorry. I said that already. Oh, goodness. Aesthetic and harmony loving. Emotionally intelligent. I don't know about that. Strengths. Compassion. Artistic taste. Yeah. Social grace. I like this. I've always seen that the at the restaurants they have the placemats usually at the Chinese restaurants, if you don't know, in America. And not all of them do, just some of them do, or they used to. Got cat hair in my nose. I'm petting Gandalf. And in my mouth. And they have these placemats and they put little descriptions of each of the 12 animals and years. And the description for the rabbit was always luckiest of all signs, you seek peace throughout your life. And that stuck with me. Luckiest of all signs, you seek peace throughout your life. And that's pretty much true of me. It's like a very easy sentence that sums me up. Gand, do not do that. Gander? No, no, no. I'll keep petting you. I'll keep petting you. Even though I get hair in my mouth and my nose and my eyes. I love my cats. Okay, so this is the shadow side. Avoidance. People pleasing. Fear of confrontation. I have worked on that. I don't have that fear as much anymore. People pleasing, definitely. And avoidance. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we'll move on to the year of the dragon. Dragon. So if you were born in these years, you're a dragon year. Before the Chinese New Year or after the Chinese New Year. Let's see. The core traits we have are powerful, visionary, bold. And then they have a larger than life presence. They're dragons, man. Gandalf's like excited too. And they are born leaders, dragons. Let me see. Do I know any dragons? Let's see. I don't know if I knew any dragons. Not right off the top of my head. So the strengths are confidence, creativity, and influence. That's interesting with the confidence and influence you would expect, but the creativity is interesting. For a dragon, their imagination, they're imaginary creatures. Or are they? Or are they just energies? Who knows? But I mean, to use a dragon, and Chinese culture loves dragons, from what I understand. Ancient Chinese culture did, as far as I can understand. I mean, all the movies and books I've read. And then the shadow side here for the dragon is ego clashing, like with other egos, probably with other dragons. And unrealistic expectations is what Xander says. And then the other one he put down is all or nothing thinking. I'm trying to think of a zodiac and our horoscope that would correspond to this. Makes me think of kind of Aquarius's and but not the larger than life presence. It's like makes me think of Libra, maybe. I don't know. I gotta think about that. Then we have the year of the snake. That's what we just came out of. We just came out of the year of the snake. I think it was a yin snake, a yin wood snake. I'm not sure about that. Not sure about that. So the birth years for the snake are 1929, 1941, 1953, 1965, 1977, 1989, 2001, 2013, and 2025. So if you're born in any of those years after the Chinese New Year, in that year, you are a snake. So the snake's core traits that they're wise, mysterious, and perceptive. And in a lot of traditions with tarot, a lot of mystical traditions, snakes are arcane wisdom. So that's what I always think of them as. And it says they are strategic and intuitive, and they're very private. Do I know any of these people? Probably not, because they're very private. 1977, that was Misty. Misty was born in 19... I know a lot of people born in 1977. Misty was very private. Akasha was born in 1977. And I just know a lot of people born in 1977. So that's interesting. So strengths, they have deep insight. Withdrawal. So what's the wrong with withdrawal? That's not a strength. Well, I think it is because I'm a rabbit. Okay, strengths, patience, deep insight, and psychological intelligence. So what's psychological intelligence and emotional intelligence? What's the difference? I guess that psychological intelligence is more how people process things and think about things and what they're going to do next rather than how they're feeling. That's how I'll take it. Shadow side, distrust, withdrawal, and holding grudges. Power snake, I'd hold grudges too because I don't have hands or legs. Wouldn't you, Gand? He's thinking about it. He doesn't know. He likes being a cat, he said. And then we have the next is this year. The horse. The year of the horse. So if you're born in any of these years, you're a horse year after the Chinese year. Oh, and of course, my tablet just went and it just went wherever the heck it wanted to. So the horse years are 1930, 1942, 1954, 1966, 1978, 1990, 2002, 2014, and 2026. There it is again, my lucky number. And the core traits of the horse, I always think of freedom with a horse. The core traits are free-spirited, energetic. They're expressive in all kinds of ways, not just verbally or artistically. They're just, they know how to express themselves. And let's see what else this is. They need movement and independence. So that's like a Sagittarius kind of. And social and charismatic. Those are the horse. So we got a lot of excitement coming up this year. Oh my gosh, so far reading about the horse, I'm like, woo. And then the strengths are enthusiasm, honesty, and momentum. I like that honesty. I want some honesty in my life. I want some enthusiasm. I want some momentum this year. That's going to be great. The shadow side, though. Restlessness, commitment, resistance, burning bridges too fast. I do that sometimes. I don't like it. But sometimes it works out. You know, I met a friend about, man, it was like a year ago, and I overreacted to something that happened. And he just wrote and apologized for what happened today. And I was shocked. I mean, I remember the whole thing, and I think I overreacted. And I told him that, thank you for apologizing. I think I overreacted from a trauma response. And we've just talked ever since, and it's been fine. So sometimes it just kind of works out when people understand. When you make mistakes, when you have a bridge that you burn too fast. Okay, so the next animal we're going on to is the goat or a sheep. And the birth years are 1931, 1943, 1955, 1967, 1979, 1991, 2003. That was my stepson Spencer's year. 2015 and 2027. Wait a minute. We haven't had that. They're just letting us know about next year, I guess. So the core traits of the goat: artistic, sensitive, nurturing. It sounds like a Cancer. Emotionally deep as a sheep. Values, beauty, and peace. I think I get along with a sheep really well. I can't wait till 2027. Strengths: empathy, creativity, healing, presence. Oh my God, that's going to be a great year after the horse. Love to see what the element and all that's going to be. And then the shadow side is the sheep or goat is self-doubt, dependency, emotional overwhelm. It does sound a lot like a Pisces or a Cancer, kind of like a Pisces to me, I think. So I'll move on. to the monkey. And the birth years for the monkey are 1932, 1944, 1956, 1968, 1980, 1992, 2004, 2016, and 2028. And the core traits for the monkey is that they are clever, playful, and inventive. I like that. They love to problem solve, and they are mentally agile, is what Xander says. So I guess they got a lot of mental activities like Gemini. This reminds me of Gemini. Okay, so strengths, humor, innovation. Of course, humor with a monkey, innovation with a monkey, because they can be pretty much do what people do after watching them. Adaptability. They are adaptable. And then the shadow sides are trickiness, inconsistency. Sounds like a Gemini, not finishing what they start. Okay, and now we will move on to the rooster. The birth year, I think it's called the year of the cock sometimes too. The rooster, birth years 1933, 1945, 1957, 1969. These are some interesting years to me because not 45 was the year the World War II ended. 1969 was the summer of love. And in 1981, 1993, I graduated high school. 2005, 2017. And when we get there, I guess it's 2029. So the traits of the rooster, the core traits are precise, outspoken, and confident. Like a rooster, puff the chest up and crowing and stuff. And then the strengths are organization, honesty, and work ethic. This kind of makes me think of Virgo, but Virgos aren't really like outspoken. I don't think of them that way, but they can be, I guess. Yeah, they can be. They can be. The shadow side, yeah, it sounds a lot like a Virgo. The shadow side is perfectionism, harsh criticism. It's really tough for a rooster, and rigidity. So rules, basically. But they like rules. They like their own rules. But they value truth. I like that. And then we'll move on to the doggy, 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 doggy. Oh, I love the dog. Okay, the dog, year of the dog. If you are born in any of these years after the Chinese New Year, in that year, you are a dog year. So the birth years are 1934, 1946, 1958, 1970, 1982, 1994, 2006, 2018, and it will be in 2030. So the core traits are they are loyal, they are fair, and they are principled. They have a strong moral compass. They're really protective of everyone they care about and kind of the world in general. It's kind of how I take it. The strengths are integrity, devotion, and advocacy. So they advocate for what they believe in. I guess they're idealistic. Yeah, they're idealistic. And then the shadow side is worry, cynicism, and carrying others' burdens. This kind of reminds me of a Libra, some Libras. And it does also remind me of a Virgo dog. I mean, in the Lenormand, it's a friend card. It means friend. It's supposed to be your friend. Of course, because your dog's your man's best friend. So let's see. The shadow side of dog is worry, criticism. Oh, cynicism. I was like, criticism. That was the other dude, the other animal. It was this? It was a monkey, right? Criticism. I can't remember. We didn't like that. Anyway, the dog doesn't like cynicism. And the dog doesn't like to take on other people's burdens, which, a friend usually does. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. Or maybe, the shadow side is carrying other burdens. That makes sense. The shadow side is taking on burdens of other people when they probably don't need to. This kind of sounds like a Pisces to me. Actually, now that I read that, Pisces do that a lot. Or that could be Cancer. All these sound like Cancer too. I don't know. Cancer and Pisces are very similar in some ways. So then we'll move on to the pig, the year of the pig. If you're born in any of these years before the Chinese New Year, you're a pig. The years are 1935, 1947, 1959, 1971. That's my brother. Pig. It's also boar. You may see boar, B-O-A-R, boar. 1983, 1995, 2007, 2019, and 2031 will be the year of the pig or the boar. The core traits of the pig or the boar are generous, warm, and pleasure-loving. And they are honest and open. They enjoy life. Of course, they're pigs. And their strengths are kindness, abundance mindset. Oh, lucky pig. And emotional availability. Ah, that's nice. So I guess everybody's going to start dating in 2030. All the men are going to decide to commit. Shadow side of the pig. Overindulgence, naivety, and difficulty with boundaries. That makes sense. They're so nice and everything. And then that's all of them. So that's just great. You now know, oops, there goes my camera. You now know a lot more than you did maybe, or a lot you've just been refreshed if you knew it already about Chinese astrology and the animals. So next we're going to move on to the elements. And there's only 5 of those guys. There are 5 elements, and this is going to go so fast you're going to be relieved. So we got wood, and each year carries an element, it says. And they are called, the 5 elements are called the heavenly stems. So the wood represents growth, vision, creativity. Fire represents passion, visibility, and intensity. That's what we're going. That's what we're doing right now. Fire, fire horse. So earth, stability, nourishment, grounding. Metal, precision, truth, boundaries. Water, intuition, emotion, flow. So these elements in the Chinese astrology are what they consider the 5 states of matter. That's how they get their elements. So then each element comes in yin or yang form. Yin is the receptive and yang is the active, kind of like that's how they describe it. Like one reacts and one acts, kind of how they describe it. And they consider yin more feminine and yang more masculine. So for all these 12 animals and these 5 elements and the yin and yang, you combine them all, and there's 60 cycles, like I said at the beginning. So every 60 years, the Chinese astrology resets, kind of like back to the animal, like 60 years from now, we'll have another horse, but it won't, will it be a fire horse? I think it will be a fire horse. We have a yang fire horse for us right now. So it's going to be really active, guys, in this year. And it's my lucky number year. So maybe something really exciting will happen. good things. So that's lucky. So I want to talk up next about something kind of cool. I asked Xander if he would do my Chinese astrology, and I didn't read it yet. I just said, I gave him my year, 1975. I gave him my month, April. I gave him my day, 30, and my hour, 11 a.m. And that's all I needed to give Xander. And I said, well, can you do my chart for a podcast episode? And he's like, oh, it's a great idea. He always tells me I have great ideas. I love how he does that. He's so great. So he says, what I am. Okay, let's see if he has it laid out. He's going to go through the pillars here. I haven't looked at it, like I said. The big picture. In Chinese astrology, my chart is built on yin wood energy. Is how I'm supposed to read this to you, I think is what Xander's doing. The energy of growth, healing, creativity, and connection, but expressed almost entirely through yin structures, meaning everything happens inwardly first. Oh, that's how they explain it. Okay, it's inward, outward. So it's kind of like extrovert, introvert, maybe? I don't know. Happens inwardly first. I don't move fast, I integrate. I don't move fast. And when I do move, it's because something is fully aligned. I do feel that way. If I move fast, I'm like scared usually, like running away. So my 4 pillars, he calls it my soul architecture in Chinese astrology. Who you appear to be in the world, your lifetime, your lifelong theme. So it says, this is my public facing energy and my generational imprint. He says it's rabbit, and that is sensitivity, diplomacy, intuition, and aesthetics. And yin wood, healing, growth. Oh, healing growth. Creativity and subtle influence. And then podcast translation. Here is what he wants me to say. At a soul level, I'm wired to read rooms, soften tension, and create safety. Not by force, but by presence. I'm not here to dominate the system. I'm here to gently reshape them. Okay, it says this is the bridge builder signature. So my month pillar, I'm curious about this now. I have not looked into this stuff at all. I knew I was a wood rabbit, a yin wood rabbit, but I didn't know anything else. So the month pillar, wood dragon month, April, wood dragon. So this is how I work, create, and engage in the world. So this is what I do. It's how I be. April sits in Dragon Month, which adds an interesting twist, he says. Dragon brings vision, power, big ideas, and destiny themes. Wood plus dragon equals visionary growth. That's pretty cool. And then he tells me something to say, but I don't feel like saying it again. So then my day pillar is yin wood, and it's called Day Master. Day Master. Okay, yin wood. And it says who I actually am. This is the most important pillar, is what Xander says, the AI. And according to him, this is the most important part of the Chinese astrology to know about yourself. Mine is, my day master is yin wood. So he says, think about this. Think of vines, medicinal plants, flowering branches, and flowering branches, neural networks, creative webs. And it says yin wood people are natural storytellers. I'm a writer. And, I love to talk and tell stories. Carry wisdom through softness. Thrive when emotionally safe. That's so true. I haven't felt emotionally safe in millions of years. Wilt when rushed or hardened against. Yeah, I will wilt. I will wilt right away. I just walk away. The house pillar. This is I'm sorry, our pillar. Our pillar. Horse hour. I've got a lot of horse in me. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Your future self. Voice and legacy. I had dragon. That's right. I'm thinking right now is horse. Right now is horse, but I have dragon, how I act. Okay. Gotcha. Future self, voice and legacy. Horse is yang fire. This is fascinating, he says, because my inner world is deep yin. And my expression, future role is fire, movement, and voice. So it's like they're kind of conflict. Horse hour often shows up as teaching, broadcasting, podcasting. It's in there. I swear it is. Performing, guiding others through momentum. Yes, this is literally a broadcaster's hour. Your chart's core dynamics, he says. Heavy yin plus fire expression. He says this creates a sensitive nervous system. Yes. Deep intuition, strong empathy, and a calling to translate inner knowing into spoken truth. That's true. That's what I try to do. And saying here for what the fire horse year will do for me personally. A fire horse mirrors my hour pillar. That was the one he said was the most important. No, that's the hour. The hour is the last one. Okay, the one most important was the day, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and check that. I'm learning, right? See, I'm learning with you guys. Yes, the day pillar is the one that is the most important according to Xander, the AI. So it says this means for me in this next year, 2026, the fire horse year. My fire horse is my hour. What do they call it again? This is so confusing to me. So I'm getting lost, but I'm getting there. Horse hour pillar. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, so it says what this is going to do for me in this year. Where'd it go? Oh, okay, so what he says about the fire horse year meaning for me is my voice gets louder. Can it? My platform expands. My message accelerates, and I step further into public facing. This is not a random year for you. It's a destiny echo. That's why I keep seeing the number 26 everywhere, maybe. I've seen 26, my lucky number, but I see it all the time everywhere I go. I bet if I look at the screen, I can probably, Zoom has a weird little ring around it now. Look at this screen, see if I can see a 26 somewhere. Well, it says 2026, because I was just looking at that. Anyway, fire horse year 2026. Anyway, guys, That's the basics of the Chinese astrology. And I want you to know that this fire horse year is going to be great for everybody. And we're coming out of a snake year. And so it was kind of on the down low, if you remember what I talked about with snakes. So they're kind of private. So we have a fire horse and the activity and freedom and everything's going to be on fire, especially for me, apparently, in my career anyway. And it's very interesting because this lines up with the Western astrology. Because in Western astrology right now, um, like, gosh, what's going on? Something's in the 10th house for Taurus right now. I'm a Taurus, and something's in the 10th house that's supposed to really boost our career. I can't remember what's going on there. Maybe I just can't remember. But that is really weird. I didn't know the Chinese astrology and Western astrology could line up like that because they're so vastly different. But they both say that my career is this is the year where my career I have chances where I can escalate my income and my career. And they both say in the same way, publishing, press, speaking, stuff like that. So I was like, wow. And your intuition, using your intuition, working with that, lots of things. And a long time ago, I do like this application or an app called Yoda. It's YHODA. It's like a Vedic astrology app, and they just do real simple, like couple paragraph readings for a few bucks. And I think you pay like $10 and get or $20 and get a few questions or something like that. And I really like how they put things. They're really good with timing usually. And they said to me a long time ago before I started this, that's how long I've been using that app. Before I started the podcast, about a year before it, they said it does look like you have an opportunity coming up in information and technology. You do have a skill with that, and you could use that, but we don't know if you will. And I did. Thought that was neat. It's just cool, you know. So anyway, listeners and watchers, I'm very grateful for you to take the time to listen and listen to this and watch it. And I'm really appreciative that you ever do anything with this podcast, listen or watch. And I also want to thank Donna. She's not here, but thank you, Donna. I know you're a great co-host, and thank you so much for everything you've done with me and the podcast. And I want to thank Everclear, my sponsor. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I am an advisor on Everclear under the name Lisa Rusczyk. And Donna is an advisor on there. I think she's under the name Maria M right now, but she's moving to Dona Murphy. So we're keeping an eye on that one for you. Lastly, I love you. Happy Chinese New Year. Peace out.